This was the moment, the moment that everything changed. I rehearsed the hell out of this, like over and over again. I remember picking up rose petals from the carpeted floor in my hotel room as I just like, okay, let me try it again. Hi, I'm Sasha Velour, and today I'm looking back at some moments that have shaped my career and my identity. This is Becoming Sasha Velour. First one, let's see what you got for me. This is the cover of the first issue of my self-published drag magazine, first called Vim magazine. Later we renamed it to Velour. My dream for this magazine was just to have some archive of not famous drag artists, like get those voices and that brilliance down for posterity. And then we all became famous in the process. Actually, this was also a really special project because it was the last piece of my drag I got to share with my mom. And she had worked her entire life as a copy editor. So she took her red pencil and copy edited this very first issue in 2015, just a couple months before she died, actually. I felt like in some way I was carrying her tradition of helping people refine what they have to say and get it out into the world. And I'm so glad she got to see this little piece of what I was about to become. Wow, oh my gosh, okay. This was a performance I put together at my show Nightgowns. People were like freaked out. I had never had a reaction like that before in drag. I felt like I was onto something. I wanted to honor the way that my mom looked for the last few years of her life. So I went with the bald head and I've never looked back. Next one. Okay, so that is my lip sync to So Emotional by Whitney Houston, competing against my dear drag sister, Miss Shea Coulee, in the finale of RuPaul's Drag Race season 9. This was the moment, the moment that everything changed. I'm still so like blown away by that performance. Like, who is that? She had something to prove. She had a mission. I rehearsed the hell out of this, like over and over again. I remember picking up rose petals from the carpeted floor in my hotel room as I just like, okay, let me try it again. I can still remember like what I was looking at from that perspective, like just seeing all of these lights, all these cameras, looking at RuPaul, who had almost no reaction, just so stoic watching us. And I was like, I want to make her excited, give her a show that she's happy about. The life of this lip sync performance afterwards, like that was the real victory for me. When I did win, I suddenly felt like a whole new level of pressure to kind of prove that I was deserving to have won, that I did have a lot to offer and a lot to say. Like no one had seen this format for the finale of a lip sync. I don't know if it's the best lip sync of all time, but it definitely surprised people. And there's something about a lip sync that can surprise people that you're always gonna remember. Next. Oh, okay. This is the Google Doodle of Marlene Dietrich that I got to draw in 2017 for the 116th birthday of Marlene Dietrich. And this was so exciting when they reached out. I got to play Marlene Dietrich in the Snatch game.
Thank you so much for having me, RuPaul, on your Drag Race.
I've always looked up to her. She was a gay icon when it was not even legal to be gay. Her shows became gathering places for queer people. And then in her act, she would perform in both high femme drag with jewels and feathers. And then she'd put on a tuxedo for the second act and sing men's songs. So I think there's a very draggy element to what she served. And even as a little kid, when I would see clips of her and her movies, I thought like, oh God, there's just something so powerful and alluring about her style of femininity. And I think it's been a huge influence on how I paint myself, how I arch my eyebrows, and how I like to stare into the camera alluringly. The Saturday Night Live Presidential Town Hall from 2019 with Kate McKinnon as Elizabeth Warren, doing the signature Sasha Velour rose petal reveal to a beautiful bald head. This was so funny. I remember when this happened, I just started getting all these texts from surprising people, people I did not know watched Saturday Night Live, but they kept saying like, oh my God, you're on Saturday Night Live. But really they were also saying, Johnny and your dad are on Saturday Night Live, because although there's no clip of me here, there is a beautiful clip of my partner Johnny and my dad watching the actual finale. I think Kate McKinnon is a fantastic drag king. Drag queen too, doing Elizabeth Warren. This was so exciting because it kind of showed that this performance had crossed over to being recognizable by mainstream pop culture. This is 2 years after it had first aired, so the fact that it still felt like this iconic queer reference point, like it would make sense to be pandering to gay people by performing a rose petal reveal. It's a huge honor. This is the trailer for the Nightgowns streaming series that was created for Quibi, but lives on the Roku channel. And I had been trying for years to pitch a TV adaptation of my stage show Nightgowns. I really wanted to see what a show about drag would look like that wasn't all about competition. I thought it would be so great to see just the process behind the scenes of putting together these really personal performances, bringing them to life against all odds, and then throwing a show together in one night. The original show was just a platform for all kinds of drag. It was an extension of the magazine. We've been running for over 8 years, and it's still going strong. It moves venues all the time. Now it has a monthly residency at Le Poisson Rouge, which is a beautiful historic music venue in New York. And I'm always surprised when I travel overseas that people have heard of my New York show. Like, I never thought that would happen. But because of YouTube, the internet, people have watched these performances. Drag artists in Belgium and in Manila have seen these Nightgowns shows and take inspiration from it. Oh, yay. This is my performance of Come Rain or Come Shine by Judy Garland from the Smoke and Mirrors tour, which started in 2019 and because of the pandemic continued all the way to 2022. This was an incredible experience. I start from the blank page and I draw what I imagine the audience seeing as my first step. So I'll listen to a song hundreds of times, try to get into the story and the energy of that. And then using colored pencils, I'll create like a tiny drawing of it. I say tiny because the seats I was always able to afford in theater were at the very back. So I know it has to look good when it's very tiny. And I kind of build around that and then get closer and closer until I'm finally standing in the middle of it, trying to decide every detail of the facial expression and a hand gesture, but always in reference to what the audience is gonna see, because it's for them at the end of the day. This, I feel like, up to this point was the best thing I'd ever done in drag. And I hope in 5 years, I'm gonna look back and say like, oh, I was such a baby then, if I only knew. I hope to keep getting better. This is the cover of my forthcoming book, The Big Reveal. This project has been 3 years in the making. I wrote every word, drew every picture. It's full of comics, history, memoir. As I was writing this book, it became more and more necessary to tell the story of drag, to give context for this art form, to explain that this history has been around forever, and to correct all the misconceptions that people have about drag. No drag queen has ever written a history of this art form before. The history is one of it being oppressed through fears of queer expression that pop up every couple hundred years and require those of us who want to live queer lives or who want to perform in this way to fight back a little, to resist, to bring a little revolution, or just create our own separate spaces to thrive in. We are not going anywhere. And the history gives me hope that nothing can stop us. Drag is all about freedom. I think people need that still in the world. Freedom from fear, freedom with how you dress yourself, with how you talk, with what about your life you share. And like the drag way is about kind of radical honesty, dramatized through complete over-the-top fantasy. This is why I say everyone should do drag at some point. The more people get comfortable with exaggerating, laughing at, transforming themselves, becoming not just who they are, but whatever they want to be, whatever they can imagine, the more flexible and adaptable you are. Life is not easy, and you have to find a way to make it fun and to make yourself ferocious. And that's what drag is about. Survival, glamorously.